My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Slay the Spire. Alright, time to go in for the kill with Silent Low Ascension. Let's go. Oh, actually, hang on, can I save and quit? Yes, I totally can. Let's do that for a second so that I can read out the patch notes, because there is a patch note change that pertains particularly to the Silent. In particular, Crippling Poison has been reworked. Finally! It now applies for upgrade 7, poison, and 2 weak to all enemies and exhausts. It is also now called Crippling Cloud instead of Crippling Poison. It's now much better! Oh man, I want to run a poison build just so that I can play with it, to be honest. 7 max HP for 250 gold is not bad. Do we have an early shot before an elite? We do. We don't have a 3 elite path, but we have a bunch of rests and then late elites. Ooh. Okay, hang on. There's actually not a clear best path here. So 2 question marks, but then I get no question marks at the end of the run. So it looks like I'm probably going this line. So 2 question marks, 2 rests, and then there's elite, 2 more question marks, another elite, and a shot. So it's a late shot, which means 250 is fine, but also not entirely necessary. Enemies in your next 3 combats have 1 HP. Is going to have no effect for us, likely. The Transformer card, Maybe I transform a card. No, we'll go for the 250. Because there's just so many different things that I would want to definitely purchase in the shop. Obviously, Crippling Cloud, but Deadly Poison as well, Snecko Skull, and the Specimen also come to mind. So I don't want to get to that shop and not be able to do that. Let's go. Okay, not the best opening hand there. You usually want your opening hand to have either Neutralize or Survivor, so that you only have to use 1 defend in this turn. Right, double defend this turn. 3 strikes the next hand kills. Oh, well. That's really unfortunate. Gonna need another strike in this hand. Come on. Ooh, really? Boy, howdy. Trying to make this real difficult on me, aren't you, cultist? Alright. Good strike for the finish. Escape Plan. No reason not to take it. It is a entirely free card. It is free in energy cost, but also since it draws you a card, it replaces itself. It is also free in terms of card cost. Outside of situations where you have Normality, Pain, Velvet Choker, you know, going up against the Time Meter, you understand the fringe cases, right? Ooh, that is a really good draw there for us. This is the best opening turn you can have against the Jawworm, where you have Neutralize and a Survivor, because then you only have to spend 1 energy. 2 cards, sure, but 1 energy in order to negate his opening attack. Lets you get a lot of damage in real quick like. Alright, no defense this turn. 1 strike already. Give me the second, and beautiful. Come on, Crippling Cloud. Deadly Poison, though. Ooh, Escape Plan, though. So as much as I want the Deadly Poison, I don't need a boss-killing card until all the way up here. Whereas if we take Escape Plan, we can start doing some wild stuff. Some wild things. Speaking of wild things, here's a Panache. Every time you play 5 cards in a single turn, deal 10 damage to all enemies, which is going to be really easy for us to do if we take Panache and Flash of Steel. Yeah, we're effectively going for a combo cast deck. That's basically what this deck does. It just plays a lot of cards each turn. So if I Flash of Steel and draw Neutralize, Escape Plan, or the other Escape Plan, I get to do an AoE with Panache here. So I'll do that to the back line just in case. Never mind. 1 cast short. Panache used to actually activate off of 4 cards, in which case it would have definitely done it there, so that would have been handy. Beautiful. Another Swift Potion, not bad. Cloak and Dagger is also not bad in this build because when upgraded, Cloak and Dagger provides you 3 cards for 1 energy. You play the Cloak, you play the 2 Shivs, you get 8 damage distributed in lots of 4. You get 6 block, but you also get 3 towards your next Panache. Really liking that we keep getting Panache in our opening hand. Also, looks like we're going to be able to activate it this turn. Heck yes. Unfortunately, due to the location of all of our defensive cards, we're going to have to take some damage there that I didn't really want to have to take. Alright. Probably none of those, though. We're just looking for free cards at this point, pretty much. We'll upgrade Panache because it is our primary method of damage dealing. Come on. Oh, yuck. So I'm going to accept 2 damage here just so that I can get the curl up off of the enemy. Alright. We've got a Neutralize and a Cloak and Dagger in the next hand, so it's pretty much impossible to stop us from casting 5 cards this turn, which is what I'm planning on. Oh, wait, we do 14 damage on the Panache. I didn't need to strike the backline at all. That's my bad. So we need to start removing a lot of these strikes because they're effectively what is stopping me. I did all of that wrong. Should have done the defense and the survivor there. I've got to get rid of these strikes because they're what's stopping me from activating Panache so often. None of that. Upgrading the Cloak and Dagger will allow us to trigger Panache more often as well. Alright, Omamori, negate the next 2 curses you obtain. Not bad, not bad. So here's our first elite. At the very least, we do have Panache. I'm actually not going to use the escape plan there. Yes, this is exactly what I was hoping for. Cloak and Dagger and escape plan are both in my next hand. That's perfect. This is effectively going to allow me to break the enemy with a bunch of damage on the turn we break them. And a reasonable amount, at least. Alright, I'm going to use a Swift Potion here so that I can get a Neutralize, which is actually going to save me 5 damage against the enemy. And then strike, strike. Do I want to defend? No, this is a DPS race. We'll strike. Yeah, this is not the one I was looking for. Damn it. Ow. Why do I have to get my great defensive turn when my opponent is not attacking? It just feels cruel. Alright, goodbye. Let's take the Molten Egg. Whenever you add an attack card to your deck, it is upgraded. Unfortunately, I can't think of that many attacks in the Silent that add more cards to your hand. I'm sure given enough time I could think of some, but I don't know if I can think of that many. Calculated Gamble is a good way to get a lot of garbage cards out of my hand so I can dig for better things to use for the Panache. Sure. Toxic Egg, whenever you add skill card to your deck, it is upgraded. Alright, well, we're looking for Cloak and Dagger and Blade Dance especially. Oh, can't get the Ninja Scroll. There's Master of Strategy, though. Well, how aggressive or defensive do I want to be? Probably just a bunch more defensive and then trigger Panache a bunch of times. So what I'm actually looking for is something like Footwork card removal. Keep myself healthy while I watch all of my enemies die. Beautiful. I'm going to count Gamble here, just looking for the Panache. Seems a pretty reasonable idea for me. Alright. If we can start getting to the point that we are regularly triggering Panache twice a turn, that's where I'm going to be really comfortable. Any of these? Probably not. Even the Phantasmal Killer? Yeah, even the Phantasmal Killer. Closest would be a single backflip. Yeah, I actually probably should take it, especially considering it's going to instantly upgrade. Could have been a lot worse. Well, I'm going to do the draw so that I can actually play enough cards this turn. To get our enemy annoyed. And weakened. There we go. Beautiful. Whew. Managed to perfect that. Ooh, Vajra at the start of his combat. Gain 1 strength. Don't mind. I take that. We'll also get the escape plan. This is exactly why I wanted to go for this build, right? There are a number of ways to turn a bunch of escape plans into a bunch of damage for you. 1,000 Cuts, Panache, Old Wraith Form. Alright. Upgrade. Is there anything I desperately need to... Yeah, actually I do. I really need to upgrade the Calculated Gamble. Nash, Footwork, Escape Plan. Alright, well, as soon as we knew we weren't going to be dropping the enemy that turn, or rather dropping a Panache that turn, it just becomes about how much damage can I do. Alright, so 2 strikes here would do 14 damage. Enemy has 21, double strike, kill. Okay. Or I could count Gamble. And I may as well just count Gamble. Go for the extra damage. See, I'm just trying to chain off a bunch of 0 costs, and it's working out really well. Like, I feel like that went really well. Also, if I do have my deck eventually just be Panache and skills, then playing all of these escape plans will just always draw me a skill, which will always give me block. So life gets pretty good. Mm-hmm. Touché. I shouldn't have thrown away the defend. I should have thrown away the strike. Because now if I strike, I am going to take damage this turn. So I just missed out on 20 damage because I threw the wrong card. That's time for a count gamble. That. Beautiful. Oh, the escape plans. They're just so good. And no, I'm not going to have enough to go again. Okay. Having this toxic egg is going to be insane. Just in terms of the freedom that it provides us to pick up so many cards that we prior probably wouldn't. Like, I don't know if I would have picked up before having the the Toxic Egg. I don't know if I would have picked up an Expertise unless it was upgraded. I'm now definitely picking up an Expertise. Beautiful. Heck yeah! See if I can just play 5 defensive cards this turn. It didn't exactly work like that, but we did perfect the boss. Burst is going to be ridiculous. This turn, your next skill is played twice. So if I upgrade Burst, for example, which immediately happens, because as soon as I get Toxic Egg, it's upgraded, right? Oh, this is so good. If I upgrade the Burst, then I play Burst, that's 1 card. I play 2 skills after it. Each of those is duplicated, so that's 5 cards. And oftentimes it's going to be bursting Calculated Gamble or Escape Plan, so it's just going to give me a bunch of cards back. So it's only going to cost 1 energy, and it's a panache trigger. This is so good! We can even take the Cursed Key! It's extra energy, and we can negate the next curses we obtain using the Omamori. Life is pretty good right now. If we get the option to duplicate a card, it's going to be panache 100% of the time, I believe. Okay. Early shop, late rest. Okay, cool. We'll go down this line. Panache, escape, footwork, strike. Beautiful. Okay, burst backflip is pretty good. Burst escape plan is pretty good. Then we'll escape plan naturally. Obviously, burst cloak and dagger is a ridiculous thing this deck can do as well that I wasn't even thinking about at the time, but it is so important to remind myself of that. Even though backstab would be immediately upgraded, probably not something I want in this deck. It's super important that I get down to panache as soon as possible, and since I can't guarantee panache in my opening hand, guaranteeing any other card in my opening hand makes panache less likely. I probably take an acrobatics here. It immediately upgrades. Yeah. Nice way to dig past a lot of the garbage in my deck. Sure, we'll choose between 1 and 20 cards here. It's a lot of cards here I'm not going to want, though. Never mind, that's a cloak and dagger. Probably the easiest pick for us. Yeah. Immediately upgrades itself again, thanks to the toxic egg. All right, we'll do the highest amount of draw first. Then the smaller amounts of draw. All of these are just looking for the same thing, being panache. Okay, where's the panache? There it is. We found the panache. Burst, cloak, and dagger is really good. Get a hell of a lot of damage in as well. Beautiful. Escape, neutralize, cloak, and dagger. I'm just going to let the enemy die to the panache there. Take a fire potion. So, choke is incentivized. Like, choke should go in the same deck as a panache, because the idea is you just play a bunch of cards, and why not benefit from choke at the same rate? But having to draw and play choke in between all of my bursts, like, I have other combo pieces that I really want to keep together. I don't want choke just in there, cluttering up the mix, ruining my draw consistency, because it's super important that I get burst alongside cloak and dagger, or panache super early, or burst alongside any of the escape plans, or burst alongside backflip, or calculated gamble. Like, every card from here on down, I want to draw at all times with one another. Every card from here up, I don't. Right? I don't really want to add another card, especially a 2 energy card that I don't really want to draw. So the unfortunate thing there is that we didn't have a panache. Or a choke. Beautiful. Flip. Hey, there's our panache. Heck yeah. We get a much broader base with a calculated gamble after a giant draw. We'll burst an escape plan and then burst the cloak and dagger. Hell yes! Oh, it just does so much damage. Alright. Dex potion is going to be way more important than a fire potion for me. No. None of these are really necessary. If I had Unceasing Top, I would take the setup. Well, see, the thing about this is Shuriken? Do I even need the extra... Because... Like, I would get a lot of extra strength because I do play a lot of shivs, and I'd probably buy both Shuriken and the Cloak and Dagger here. Actually, I can't afford both. But I would probably take every Cloak and Dagger from this point on as well, right? Do I need the extra strength? Do I actually benefit from the extra strength? Because I still think the majority of our damage is going to be dealt by Panache. Do I want to diversify? I don't think so. I think it's more important to card remove. I might even go card remove or transmutation instead. Yeah, you know what? Let's get wacky with it. I'm taking a transmutation rather than the card removal there, especially because transmutation is going to immediately upgrade. It is now going to be add X random upgraded colors cards to your hand. And now it's about whether or not I take footwork or cloak and dagger. I think if I take the footwork, I am now unkillable. Yeah. Let's be unkillable. Let's be bad. Alright. Transmute, Secret Weapon, and Enlightenment. Neither of those really help me, so I'm going to use Secret Weapon to get a card out of my deck that I don't want to play yet. So I haven't ruined my ability to draw it. Beautiful. Come on. Where is Panache? Panache! Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, there it is. Bottom card of the deck, how dare you? Alright, we'll burst that, and then burst that. Yeah, pretty much unkillable. 30 damage incoming. Oh, never mind. I'm actually protected against that. So I was actually right. Basically unkillable. First a cloak and dagger, and then just murder. Hell yes. Dreamcatcher, whenever you rest, you may add a card to your deck. Thanks for that one. Accuracy? See, here's the problem now. Footwork and footwork provide our defense. Panache is dividing our offense. If we go onto the next floor now and we have accuracy and the boss is the awakened one, we suddenly have 4 powers in a deck where we're having to fight the awakened one, and 3 of them are pretty key. Even though I have 2 cloak and daggers in my deck, do I really want an accuracy? So an accuracy, when upgraded, is going to be an extra 10 damage every time I play a cloak and dagger. I think I'm better off not taking it. I think the damage that my shivs do, while it's fine and it's helpful, putting extra cards into my deck to make this a shiv strategy is at the cost of making this a just cycle 500 cards in a turn combo strategy with Panache. I've taken accuracy recently. I don't have to take it here, I don't think. Alright, we need to get a couple cards out of our hands so that we can dig hardcore with this. There we go, we found Panache. That's all I was looking for this whole time. Finally got it. Whew. Could have done the AoE there if I cast the transmutation for nothing, but I didn't really want to do that. Alright, all of that went pretty well. Blur would be incredible in this deck. I would go simply wild for a blur. Thank you. I'll just take that blur immediately offered to me as soon as I asked for it. Perfect. I want to burst the escape plan. Yeah. I could have put the burst on the cloak and dagger. I wanted to put it on the escape plan so that I can try and deep draw, see if I could get blur there. Okay, and then I can transmutation. Madness and acrobatics. Don't mind if I happen to take use of that. I'm trying. You have to admit, I'm trying not to say the same thing. Okay. Seems like a reasonable amount of block there. Second chance accuracy, turning it down again. Ancient Tea set, whenever you enter a rest site, start the next combat with 2 extra energy. It's fine. I do have the ability to card remove here. I should do it. There's also Flash of Steel, though. Our consistency, is it better increased by removing a strike or including a Flash of Steel? Oh, that's a rough question. I think it's better increased by removing a card. But I don't have a great backup for why I think that. Ooh. If anyone knows, like, mathematically, what would have been the correct option there, I would love to hear it. Don't put yourself out trying to find it out, but if you happen to know the framework I would use to figure that out, I would love to know. Okay. There's the panache. Beautiful. We should burst the calculated gamble. Basically, the whole goal there was just to get as many cards deeper in my deck as I possibly could. Okay. Flip, do that. And then those. Probably don't need to blur. I'm probably killing this turn. I have a feeling, boo-hoo, that tonight's going to be a good night. Nah. Not killing absolutely everyone. Every boy and every girl, but we are doing something. Leg sweep? Maybe I take leg sweep as just a harsh defensive card. I don't need a harsh defensive card though. I've got 2 footworks in my deck. Alright. Phew, I am so glad to have gotten to the panache that early because I was not expecting to. I'm actually going to use my draw card here. Yeah, because we were not in the position that I was kind of hoping we were going to be in yet. Right. I want to burst Blur, but I also want to burst Cloak and Dagger. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh. This Cloak and Dagger is actually going to give me one too many cards, unfortunately. Actually just going to burn the transmutations out of my deck because I don't need them. It's just so much more important that we do all of this as quickly as we can. Beautiful. First calculated gamble, just get my way through the deck. I figured we were going to kill sooner or later. But face turn, whenever you play a power, heal 2 HP. Handy. We have 3 powers in the deck. That's another escape plan, which is ridiculous. Could I have a deck that's literally all escape plans, please? Just escape plans. Oops, all escape plans. Do another 14 damage there by allowing it to duplicate the transmutation. Transmutation's basically just going to be a boss fight card for us, I think. I think that's a lot of the position it's worked itself into here. All right. Swift potion. Concentrate. Well, I would take a concentrate if I had an unceasing top, but I don't have an unceasing top, so I probably won't take the concentrate. Smith again. Let's get the next footwork up. And just cross our fingers and hope that the awakened one is not the final boss on the next floor. You know what? I'm actually going to use the Swift Potion here. Yeah, because that hand was so unimpactful. I'm going to transmutate here. Yeah. Okay. Finesse a strike and that all out of our deck. Just to significantly increase our ability to cycle, because all of those were one costs. Oh, also, we're perfectly defended this turn. Okay. Got to enlarge in your hand size before you calculated gamble. Okay. Well, we're already protected here. I think it's just footwork blur. Okay, didn't even decide to attack this turn. Double up on all of the escape lands, burst, finesse. This is exactly what I was looking for, by the way. In terms of how I wanted my deck to be. I'm so glad it's finally living up to it. A million cards a turn. Well, we have to play Blur and we have to play Cloak and Dagger at the very least there. Perfect. Another 31. I appreciate the attempts. I'm even frail, and I think I'm still actually going to be able to defend myself here. So, while I appreciate your pitiful attempts to harm me, respectfully, nah. All right. Another perfect. We might get beyond perfect here. Regen potion, heal 3 HP at the end of each turn for 5 turns. Adrenaline, 1000% adrenaline. It also could have actually been 1000 cards because it's another way to deal some damage over the course of it, but adrenaline. Instantly upgrades, especially. I think we'll go for Black Star. Maybe Orrery? Maybe 20 house? I want to go for the Black Star because I do purposefully fight as many elites as I possibly can at all times. Okay. Time Eater is probably worse for me than the Unawakened one. Hadn't thought about that. That's a real humdinger. Oh boy. There is a 4 elite path here though, so that's 8 relics for me. Yeah, I don't need to take any damage this turn. Oh, burst adrenaline is insane. There's basically nothing that can happen to us after that. Fire potion again, no. Malaise? Malaise will upgrade. Got a bunch of energy, sure. Travel immediately to the boss. I would rather not do that. Remove a card from my deck, though. I would rather. Burst adrenaline. Oh, it's so good. Alright. Let's play a lot of these natural cards first. I am basically just looking to try and find Panache this turn. It looks like I can't. Which means I'm going to settle. Ah, Apotheosis. Handy, but can't play it. Hey, there's our Panache. And we're fully protected this turn. Gosh, it's impossible to do anything to this deck. I love it. Make sure that one's duplicated. Cast as many of the free and multi-hit cards as is humanly possible. Ooh. Sounds like an Apotheosis time to me. And we should now be covered, right? Just keeping standard count. Seems like we had lethal there. So Flechette is super interesting, right? Because most of the cards in our deck are skills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 out of 29 are skills. We have extra strength from Vajra. So a lot of the time, it's just going to be a 1 energy giant nuke. But do I need it? For the same reason, like, this is an argument that I think is really, really important to consistently make. Because a card is good in your deck does not mean you need that card. And it also doesn't mean that your deck is better for that card. The bar that a card has to clear for inclusion in a deck is not, is it good? It's, is it better than not having this card? Does having Flechette occasionally deal a reasonably large amount of damage for me? Because we've also got to remember, we don't usually have quite large hands, right? And especially on our first shuffle through the deck, we've got a lot of powers still in there. So is it going to be consistently better than just guaranteeing that I get burst with adrenaline or burst with escape plans, right? Is it good enough to justify the possibility that it breaks up some of my combos? I don't think it is. That said, we are going to need single damage sources, like single card damage sources against the Time Eater at the end. All right, now that's a reason to take it, because we are going to need card efficient, not energy efficient, but card efficient damage against the Time Eater at the very end of this floor. Well, thanks for showing up now, Snecko Skull, when I can't really use you. Really appreciate it. It's card removal. I really wanted this to be a Crippling Cloud deck. I just want that on the record. That's what I wanted. I was barracking for it pretty hard there. Burst Adrenaline, and then I was about to say, if we don't get Panache, I could use Calculated Gamble there. So this is like a typical hand, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 by 47? 47, 49, sorry. I know the mathematics on that, I just said it wrong. Another Panache, pretty much exactly what I was looking for there, although I dare not ask for it. That was pretty cool. Alright, now flash, cloak, double attack, calculate gamble. Yeah, basically the only thing that matters here is if I can get any block to maintain for next turn, that would have been handy. Probably not necessary, but it would have been handy, nonetheless. Beautiful. Bottle Tornado. Upon pickup, choose a power card. That card will be in your opening hand at the start of each combat. Obviously, Panache, our damage source. Also, I had a conversation with someone recently in the comment section about this, specifically about innate and bottled relics. So we have no innate cards in this deck, but we do have a bottled card. At the start of each combat, add Panache to your hand. This does not add it on top of the hand that you draw. It takes the place of one of the cards that you would have drawn. You'll see next fight. We'll take Matryoshka as well. A lot of things that in most circumstances would have been better for us. Can't really take them right now, though. So our opening hand should be 7 cards large. We have exactly 7 cards in our opening hand, and Panache is one of them because it was in the Bottled Tornado. The same thing is what happens with innate. So if I had 3 backstabs, I would have Panache, backstab, 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 and then probably defend, neutralize, defend, rather than the footwork, defend, and calculated gamble. That is how it has always worked. Alright. Transmutation is actually really handy as well. Okay. Flash of Steel, Flash of Steel, Mind Blast. Beautiful. Just gotta play a lot of cards, basically. The one that I wanted to damage the least was the central one, because the central one isn't blocking this turn, so I knew I was going to be able to kill it regardless. Yeah, I just wanted to win that fight by playing defensive cards. Right, Terra, Dagger Spray, outmaneuver. So the enemy is actually going to purge itself. That is to say, the Time Eater is going to purge itself halfway through the fight with it, so the Terra won't even stick. Burst Adrenaline is exactly why I used the escape plan first there. Got Flechette for 47 damage. Let's calculate a gamble, get a bunch more zero costs and zero cost card generators in our hand. That one. Hell yeah. Single turn. Tiny chest, gain 30 gold. You're 10% more likely to find treasure in question mark rooms, as well as regular enemy combats are no longer encountered in question mark rooms, although I don't think I have any regular enemy combats. Well-laid plans. Now, well-laid plans is actually something that I could hold on to here. I could take a well-laid plan so that I can hold on to a burst for the right turn, or hold on to an adrenaline for the right turn, or a flechette for the right turn. I should do it. Well-laid plans fits in this deck. Alright, Anchor. Start each combat with 10 block as well as Bag of Marbles. At the start of each combat, apply 1 vulnerability to all enemies. Unfortunately, that vulnerability is only going to apply to direct attack damage that we cause our enemies. So the Panache, for example, won't be affected. Okay, we'll just hold the defense there. Beautiful. There is a burst in there, which I can just hard dig for here. So that we can burst adrenaline. Yeah, all of that's working pretty well, I feel. I could just giant malaise right here. Oh, you know what? We should definitely blur. Then let's actually transmutate. Blind. We'll secret weapon to draw a strike, and then we'll purity to get the defense and the strikes out of here. Malaise. Calculate gamble. Beautiful. It's all about just setting ourselves up better for the next turn, though. Burst and acrobatics. Drop a burn. Then drop the next burn as well. Don't think we have any extra energy generation in this deck either, so yeah. We'll hold on to the burst. Basically looking for burst blur this turn. There we go. secret weapon just to draw the neutralize out. I guess I just generate as much defense as I humanly can here. We'll hold on to the calculated gamble so that if I get a garbage hand, I can just throw it back. That'll do. Gremlin Horn. Whenever an enemy dies, gain an energy and draw a card, as well as a frozen egg. We now have all of the eggs. Let's not count it all before it hatches. Whenever you add a power card to your deck, it is upgraded, which is not a thing that we're really going to do. Okay. Burst Blur, then we'll burst Transmutation. Let's try and get a bunch of extra cards. I can use Transmutation and... Actually, I will use Transmutation and Malaise there. So I think we could possibly get a kill on this target before it even gets back around. That is to say, before we get back through our deck to the original side. And we did. This deck is actually quite thick, all things considered. In Venom, we do play a lot of attacks. In Venom would immediately upgrade. If I had Snecko from ages ago, I would be way more inclined to take this. It's just, because the enemy purges, and because we don't actually play that many attacks, is it going to help us perfect the end boss? I think it'll actually be a negative to have to draw and play it against the end boss. All I'm looking for right now is, can I perfect the end boss here? Because that is so damn important to me. Transmutate. Great, another transmutation. Thanks for that. Now, we're not holding on to the defense from that turn, unfortunately. Really? Couldn't give me burst with that one? Couldn't do it. Alright. Burst the acrobatics. Drop the burn. And literally anything else. Go for the kill. Hell yeah! When adding cards to your deck, you may gain 2 max HP instead. Bronze Scales, whenever you take damage, deal 3 back, and a bunch of other no. Neutralize, increase the turns that the enemy is weak for. It's probably not going to be too significant, but nothing really was going to be at that point. Okay, 1 down. 2 down. And we get to draw 2 cards and get 2 energy. Duh. We'll throw the strike in. And we'll just malaise for a heck of a lot right there. Make him super wimpy. Can't do anything to me. Mm-hmm. Alright. Solid strike to end that one. Block potion, actually probably going to be pretty important. More important than a regen potion for the possibility of perfecting. Now, Blade Dance would immediately upgrade. It would be 1 energy to play 4 different cards. The problem is Time Eater. I don't really want to do that. I'm going to take the max HP, actually. Also going to upgrade the Well-Laid Plans, because when the Time Eater stops my turns dead, at the very least, Well-Laid Plans will help me hold on to a lot of my stuff. Now, I could use a single Malaise here for a giant effect. 6 energy Malaise. I have to. Basically, the enemy is not going to be an issue for a very long time for us right now. And if we can get these burst blurs consistently, nothing's going to be an issue for a very long time. There's an Apotheosis. Getting a lot of zero costs up in here. Although, can't wait to play that Apotheosis. I'm not certain it will have any effect. Let's hold on to these two. First the escape plan, and then this escape plan. And then that flash. Ooh, upgrade my other flashes of steel. Don't mind if I do. I really just want to get to my next blur. There we go. Maintain the 2 draw cards. Acrobatics first. Drop this because we're probably using Flechette. Actually, I'll backflip first. Flechette was a reasonable amount of damage there, and then we've got Mind Blast for another reasonable amount of damage. Alright, just draw a 0-cost card. We did. Beautiful. I kind of want to hold on to my attacks at this point. But I still think the best thing that I can do here is just get to and then play my blurs. Beautiful. I was basically waiting for Burst and Blur to be in the same hand now. I'll also have Survivor double cast here. And then I'll hold the Calculated Gamble and the Cloak and Dagger. The well-laid plan, specifically because the enemy is going to be ending my turns for me, has turned out to be a great idea. Also, Flechette seems like it's probably performing in the way that I'd hoped. Alright, we'll hold on to the 2 draw. We've still got our blur from last turn. We're basically, beautiful, just digging to try and play it. And heck, if we can play it again, may as well. So I'm going to do like a hardcore draw this turn. Okay. Alright, we'll keep Flechette and escape plan. There's another blur in the bottom 12 cards of our deck right now. Which I think we're pretty guaranteed to... I should have Flechette before I did that. Although I think we've actually just got a kill here. Yeah, seems like it. Definitely not a speedy kill. Definitely not a speedy run. 53 minutes, yeah. 1,305, though, is a pretty reasonable score. So that's a Beyond Perfect, which is perfecting all 3 bosses. Champion, which is defeating elites without taking damage. Now, we only took down 8 elites, and we got 7 charges of Champion. And I think we went for every elite we possibly could have chained. So that's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. We also have 4 copies of any non-starter card. That would probably have to be Cloak and... No, it's Escape Plan, of course. A little bit for Ascension, a little bit for Moneymaker. Speedster. We could have gotten 25 more if we did it in under 45 minutes there. I feel really good about that. That was a really, really nice defensive Silent deck. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.